All praises due to the Most High, family. We back with another Acres anime review. I just finished watching episode 9 of GACHIAKUTA. And so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Before we get into the episode, I just want to say, man, if you haven't tuned in to GACHIAKUTA, you might want to. This one of the best combinations of comedy and action. I mean, it's more action than comedy. This not a comedy first anime, but the comedy is plentiful. The comedy is in abundance in this action shonen anime for sure. Like, I think it's got one of the best balances of some of the anime that I've seen this season. Like, just as an example, like, I know Solo Leveling is very popular. Not that much comedy in Solo Leveling. I mean, there's a little bit, but not really. But GACHIAKUTA got a nice balance. Anyhow, so we preparing to go into the no man's land, or one of the no man's land. So if you remember, family, we're on the ground, right? I know the people who've been keeping up with the series, y'all know. But for those who don't, there's the sphere up here. It's like a whole separate world up in the sky, the sphere. And then there's the ground. And so we in the ground, which is heavily polluted because the sphere keeps dropping trash and discarding all their trash into the ground, right? Which leads to pollution. And so in general, the ground is polluted area. What we refer to as the no man's land is a particular, and there's not just one, there's a handful, it's a select few, this is a particularly polluted area. When Rudo first fell from the sphere, he fell into a no man's land. That's why he was coughing up blood from just breathing the regular old air after so long, because this is a particularly polluted area. So really, you need a mask to survive. And luckily, Rudo ran into Engine, and Engine had an extra mask. I explained that to say, Rudo is having his what they call a full face, but they have like their gas masks. Like what you might see like people who spray paint wear and stuff. But they have what's called a full face. And this is like a whole, covers your whole face. It's not just a mask that covers your mouth and nose. This covers everything to where you really can't even identify the person. Rudo's full face is not ready yet. The cleaner who is in charge of making the uniforms and the full face mask, he's not done with Rudo's. Engine let us know, hey, this guy kind of works on his own timeline, and so we really don't rush him. We don't stress him out. We kind of just work around his work schedule. He's ready when he's ready. Okay, I've explained why Rudo's full face mask is not ready. And so instead of pressing old boy about a full face mask and going straight to the no man's land, we're just gonna take an alternative method. We're gonna go to Canvas Town, where all the artists are. There's like Artist Central, and there is what was his name? Started with a G, but there is a cleaner there who can basically put spells on people, because his vital instrument is what we find out to be a brush, right? So he basically paints you and puts a spell on you, right? So we was looking for Gob. This was the cleaner who was the spellcaster. And so we go to Canvas Town to have Gob apply a spell on Rudo, so that way we can go to No Man's Land, right? And so this is kind of interesting. Like, I mean, this is something that we got to explore a little bit more, because this is the first episode I think that we touched on it, right? Like, who knows what these limitations on the spells are? We pull up to Canvas Town, and there's these two random characters, and they trying to get in. They're saying, oh, the gate is open, but we can't walk in to the town. Like, what's going on with that? And then meanwhile, we just ignoring them, but the whole group of cleaners is going in there. And Rudo's kind of like, whoa, what's happening here? Because these guys, it was like an invisible wall keeping these guys out, but the cleaners just walking in. And so Engine say, hey man, as long as you don't have ill intentions, as long as you don't have negative vibes, like, you can just walk on through. And so this turns out to be a spell casted on the wall of the town, I think by Gob. It could have been somebody earlier, but I believe it was Gob. And so we walking in, we observing all the art on the town. It looks crazy. It's all graffitied up. It's very expressive. It's very colorful. And then this kid bumping the engine, and then they start crying. And Rio teased Engine. She like, wow, so Engine made a kid cry. That's messed up. And then we run into the mayor of the town, and we ask the mayor, hey, we came to see Gob. Where Gob at? Lo and behold, family. And Pete, if you remember, when Rudo had his welcoming party, and they were serving food, and they was getting lit, there was a character spraying on the walls. And this was after Grease gave Rudo the advice that, hey man, you got to pursue what you want. You got to be unapologetically you. I'm paraphrasing. And then Engine pointed out to Rudo after he got that advice from Grease, he was like, peep this, Rudo. This is somebody who's always unapologetically themselves, who's always putting their desires first, not in a toxic way, but in a healthy way, like respecting what their wishes and desires and wants are. And so that stuck with Rudo, obviously, because when we find out that Gob passed, basically the same, like, we just missed him, family. We pull up and we find the mayor. Hey mayor, where's Gob? Gob, he just passed. And so we go see, we go mourn Gob. We see what's left of him. And it turns out that this kid, and they're there in the room with us when we're mourning Gob. This kid that Engine made cry, his name is Remlin. And so we find out that Remlin is the successor to Gob. What does that mean? Remlin is the new spellcaster. And I don't know if all spellcasters, the mayor mentioned that Remlin is inheriting Gob's vital instrument. So I don't know if all of these spellcasters have inherited the same vital instrument, or if maybe it worked under similar circumstances. But Remlin is inheriting Gob's vital instrument, which makes him the next spellcaster. And so basically we gonna have him cast a spell on Rudo. And so we have a little celebration. He do his little spell casting, not his big spell casting thing, and he put on a fireworks show. It was pretty cool, and it was like a way to that's like an artist's way to go out, for us to like mourn the passing of Gob. But so that was the episode. We getting ready for No Man's Land. Gremlin is the new spellcaster. We meet him, and he finna